was an okay student. I don't think I could get into either of the campuses today, but back then I was fortunate enough to get into both Amherst and Lowell. My brother had chosen Lowell, so I chose it as well. And never looked back, never been regretted a second of my time here or in Amherst.
Who is John Kennedy? The simple answer is that he, John Kennedy, is an alum who has been very supportive of both the University of Massachusetts Lowell and the University of Massachusetts flagship campus in Amherst. He was an undergraduate at UMass Lowell, actually Lowell Tech at the time, a 1970 graduate, and later got his master's at UMass Amherst. He was an assistant golf coach as well at UMass Lowell. When people talk of John Kennedy, they often speak of his support for the university, various programs, and athletics. But that does not answer the question. Who is John Kennedy?
Oh, I think I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet. To come from a fairly modest background, to be as fortunate as I've been, to have some of the great friends that I've had, to experience some of the things that I've experienced, I think I'm a very, very lucky person.
At Lowell Tech, John Kennedy planned to study chemical engineering, but a couple of courses convinced him that was not his calling. He was a math major. That wasn't his calling either, but he thought it was a good background for whatever was next. He eventually received a master's degree in accounting from UMass Amherst, but not before hitchhiking across Europe, spending some time on an Israeli kibbutz, and working in a pub in England. He also learned to cook to help pay for school.
My brother, again, had preceded me here. Loved his time here. He was a textile chemist. From the time that I can remember, the idea of anything short of a baccalaureate degree was just unacceptable. My father hadn't had the chance in his family, whereas all his brothers and sisters had been successfully college graduates. So there was just no question college was in the future. And once my brother went out and got a master's degree, that turned the tide, and it was no longer acceptable to think about a bachelor's degree. A master's degree was the new requirement. So I eventually got that done as well.
John Kennedy has had a pretty good life, he'll tell you that. But he downplays his accomplishments. In 2009, he retired as the president and chief financial officer of Nova Analytics Corporation in Woburn. He would sell that company a year later. Before that, he was also the senior vice president of operations and the chief financial officer of RSA Security Incorporated. There were other jobs as well, but there were also obstacles along the way.
I was fired from a very senior executive job, and best thing that ever happened to me. Out of that came the experience of starting a new business and being successful in it, and being financially rewarded for that.
And the lesson here, according to Kennedy, is not the failure, the firing, but rather the response to it.
We're all going to fail. We're going to fail a lot. It's the question of standing up after you've fallen down and moving forward.
Kennedy taught entrepreneurial finance at UMass Lowell for a couple of years, and he brought that experience and those words into the classroom. And John Kennedy has given back to both UMass Lowell and UMass Amherst. He has given time, words, thoughts, ideas, passion, and supported many university efforts financially. There are a couple of scholarship funds. There has been support for the field hockey program and for the Ice Hockey Performance Center, and support as well for a new basketball floor for the Songus Center.
Well, I always root for UMass Lowell and UMass Amherst when they don't play each other.
But they do play each other.
When they play each other, I'm totally neutral and hoping for a tie.